Welcome in, guys, to my NFL Week 15 picks. We started off with last night's game. I'm not starting off to a good start either. I went for the Chargers. We had the Chargers who were on the road to the Raiders. Yeah, you had the Chargers and the Raiders last night, and oh my God, it was a bad shutout. It was a shutout for the Chargers. It was 63-21 to the Raiders. And you gotta think, is Brandon Staley, is he gonna be still on the job after this weekend? You're gonna think, he's still got that Bears football in him. You know, you've gotta fucking fuck it up somewhere. He's got that Bears football DNA. He was a former coach for the Bears a number of years ago. Gets his first head coaching job in a couple of years ago, like 2 years ago was it? In Los Angeles. And they reached the playoffs last season, the Chargers, first time in 5 years. But you look at them this year, they've gone backwards. I think it's time to fire Brandon Staley. Get him out of the franchise. Just fire his ass, because he's taking his team backwards. And especially when you have a franchise level quarterback in a Justin Herbert, he should not be butt last in his division. Like, you should be contending, going out there for the division. But yeah, 0-1 so far. Saturday, we have a couple of Saturday games this week. We had the Vikings who were on the road to the Bengals. For this one, I'm going for the Bengals -3. I know Burrow's out for the rest of the year, but they look pretty impressive in their last game, and I'm going for the Bengals here as well, -3. Steelers. We have the Steelers versus the Colts. Again, Anthony Richardson is injured. I'm still injured for the rest of the year. But even though Anthony Richardson's injured, I'm really loving what the Colts are doing. -1.5 for the Colts. Then we have the Lions versus the Broncos versus the Lions. Is a home game. I know that I'm going to talk about more in depth about the Lions in my preview I have coming up after this. But for this one, I'm going to go for the Lions +4. Lions, do not fucking fuck this up, because I know when we get to this point of the season, this is where the shit hits the fan, and we've had previous experience of fucking it up before. Now, I know that we've been shit on the ground and sacks and gasping sacks, but if you fuck this up, this will be typical Lions football, and I'm not having it again. We've had a great start for the first time in over 60 years, and you want to throw it away like that. I'll go for the Lions +4. Then we have the early Sunday games. We have the Bears versus the Browns. The Bears actually won the last game against my Detroit Lions. They're on the road to the Browns this week, and I'm going to go for the Browns -3. Then we have the Chiefs versus the Patriots. Again, there was rumours this week that Belichick's leaving at the end of the year. I said that he should be gone at the end of the year, so if the rumours are true, good on New England. No disrespect to Belichick, but you have to move on from your legendary head coach, because he's the worst GM in the NFL. Like, he's fucking up his own team, and he's playing both roles as GM and head coach. It's time to move on. But I've gone for the Chiefs -8.5. Then we have the Jets and Dolphins. I'm going for the Dolphins -8.5. I know that Dolphins lost against Tennessee on Monday night. Bit of a short week for them this week. I'm going for the Dolphins -8.5. Giants versus the Saints. Going for the Saints -6. Panthers versus the Falcons. How was that Bryce Young draft pick, Panthers fans? I mean, drafting again. Everyone says, "Oh, draft the first quarterback." Not when you draft the first round quarterback, it doesn't always necessarily mean you've got the guy. There's been loads of times in the NFL where somebody's been drafted at number 1, been overdrafted. They paid way too much for Bryce Young to bring him in at number 1, and he wasn't the guy. Again, Carolina should have gone for Anthony Richardson or Will Levis or C.J. Stroud. That's the guys who they should have gone for, not the guy who is 5'11" and not really the best on his feet and stuff like that. But I'm gonna go for the Falcons -3. Green Bay versus the Bucks. I'm going to go for the Bucks -3. Then we have the Titans versus the Texans. I'm going to go for the Titans +5. CJ Stroud versus Will Levis. I'm really interested in that game this weekend. Titans +5. Late Sunday games, we have the Commanders versus the Rams. Give me the Rams -6.5. I know they lost last week against the Ravens, but I think they'll bounce back this week. 49ers versus the Cardinals. 49ers +12, -12.5. Cowboys versus Bills. I'm impressed with the Cowboys. We all know that the Cowboys are gonna choke after the regular season. Give me the Bills -2. And then the final late game on Sunday, the Baltimore Ravens are on the road. To the Jacksonville Jaguars. Ravens are favored here at -5.5. I'm gonna go Ravens for the win. And then the Monday night game, we have the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Seattle Seahawks, and go for the Eagles -4.